Have you ever stopped to think about what actually happens when you click a link? I mean, really think about it. Today, we're going to tear that simple click apart and look at everything that happens millisecond by millisecond. We're diving deep into the application layer to uncover the anatomy of a click.
It's just so fast, right? You click and poof, there's the web page. It feels completely instant, like some kind of digital magic. But it's not magic. Behind the scenes, there's this incredible high-speed chain of events that has to happen perfectly. So what is happening in that blink of an eye?
What's happening is a conversation. A really fast and very structured conversation between your computer and some other computer, maybe halfway across the world. So for this explainer, let's put on our detective hats. We're going to follow the trail of a single click from start to finish.
Okay, so first things first. Your browser knows the name of the website you want, but computers don't really work with names. They need numbers, a specific address. So the very first challenge is to turn that name you typed in into a number the computer can actually use.
And that's where the domain name system, or DNS, steps in. The easiest way to think about DNS is as the internet's giant shared phone book. Its one and only job is to look up the human-friendly name and hand back the computer-friendly IP address. Simple as that. But how does it find the right number in that massive phone book? Well, there are two main ways. On one hand, you've got the iterative query. Think of this as your local server being the detective, doing all the legwork itself. On the other hand, there's the recursive query, which is more like delegation. Your local server just asks another server to find the answer and get back to it.
Let's follow the iterative path, the one where our local server is in charge. First, it asks a top-level root server. The root server says, nope, don't have it, but you should talk to the server that handles all the .edu domains. So our server goes to the TLD, or top-level domain server. That server says, getting warmer. I don't have the final answer, but I know the authoritative server that does. Finally, our server asks that authoritative server, which has the actual record, and bam, it gets the IP address.
Now, the recursive query is totally different. It's like passing the buck. Your local server asks the root server, but instead of just pointing the way, the root server turns around and asks the TLD server for you. Then, the TLD server asks the authoritative server. The answer is found, and then it gets passed all the way back down the line until it reaches your local server. See the difference? One is a series of referrals, the other is a full-on chain of command.
So, which way is better? Well, in the real world, the iterative method is considered the best practice, and it's all about efficiency. You don't want to bog down the most important servers, the root and TLD servers, with doing all the extra work. It's much better to have them just quickly point everyone in the right direction. It keeps the whole system running smoothly.
So what do these entries in the phone book actually look like? They're called resource records. You can think of them as the individual lines in a contact list. And just like a contact can have a work number, a cell number, and an email, these records have different types for different kinds of information.
Let's just run through the big ones real quick. The A record, for address, that's the one we've been hunting for. It connects a name to an IP address. An NS, or name server record, points to which server is in charge. A CNAME is an alias, kind of like a nickname. And the MX, or mail exchange record, is super important for email. It tells everyone where to send the mail for that domain.
All right, we did it. Our DNS journey is over, and the browser has the IP address. It has the phone number. Now it's finally time to make the call and actually ask for the web page. And we do that using a protocol called HTTP, the Hypertext Transfer Protocol.
And you know what? The request itself is surprisingly simple. It's not some complex code, it's just plain text. The first word, get, is basically the browser saying, hey, can you please give me this thing? Then it specifies the exact file path it wants. It's a very direct and clear instruction.
And this is what the server sends back. That first line is key. 200 OK is what you always want to see. It's the universal sign for, yep, got it, here you go. Then it gives some other useful info, like how big the file is, and then it's an HTML file. It's this beautiful, simple back and forth.
Now here's something that makes a huge difference for speed. A modern web page isn't just one file, right? It's the main page plus a bunch of images, scripts, and other stuff. With non-persistent HTTP, your browser has to make a brand new connection for every single item. That's like hanging up the phone and redialing after every sentence. With persistent HTTP, it just keeps the line open. It is way faster.
So we've covered the two big steps, finding the address with DNS and then asking for the page with HTTP.
Now for the fun part. Let's get out a stopwatch and see how long this all actually takes.
And the clock starts now. First up is the DNS lookup. We've got a few hops to make, adding up the time it takes to check with each server, a 4, a 44, and an 8. That gives us a grand total of 56 milliseconds. Just to find the address. We're not even talking to the website yet.
Okay, next up we have to actually get the file. And this takes 2 round trips. There's one trip just to establish the connection, kind of like a handshake, and a second trip to ask for the file and get it back. So 2 trips at 20 milliseconds each adds another 40 milliseconds to our running total.
And there you have it. Add it all up, and the total time from you clicking that mouse to your browser getting the main file is 96 milliseconds. It's less than 1/10 of a second, but it's not zero. It's made up of all these tiny measurable little steps.
But remember what we said about modern pages having lots of objects? This chart shows why persistent connections are such a game changer. If we had to download 3 extra images the old, non-persistent way, it would take 216 milliseconds. But with a modern, persistent connection, it's nearly twice as fast, just 116 milliseconds. That's a massive difference.
And you know, this whole pattern, a client asking for something and a server providing it, it's not just for websites. This is the fundamental engine behind so many of the things you do online every single day.
Look at email. When you send an email, your computer uses a push protocol called SMTP to push it out to your server. Then your server pushes it to your friend's server. But when your friend checks their mail, their computer uses a pull protocol, like IMAP, to pull the message down. It's a whole system of pushing and pulling.
Or think about sending a huge file. In the old model, one server has to send it to everybody, which takes forever, over 900 seconds in this example. But with peer-to-peer, or P2P, everybody who downloads the file also helps share it. The workload is distributed, and look at the result. It's way more efficient, taking just over 500 seconds.
So, when we pull it all together, what we see is that the internet isn't magic. Our smooth, seamless experience is built on this invisible foundation of rules, these protocols, all working in perfect concert at speeds we can barely even comprehend.
It really is like a symphony. Every click, every email, every download kicks off this incredible performance of protocols. You've got the DNS lookup, the HTTP request, the type of connection, all playing their part. So the next time you click a link and that page just appears, what part of that hidden conversation are you going to think about?